Saturday Night Football continues here on SFL YouTube, and I hope you brought snacks because we are in the Mile High City with another matchup percolating for you tonight as the Carolina Skyhawks take on the Denver Nightwings. This is the Simulation Football League presented by APM Music. My name is Josh Circle, bringing you play-by-play for this evening's action. And joining me in the booth is the kindest bud there is, Brett Solberg. Brett, both of these teams snapped losing streaks and found success in Week 12. Between Carolina and Denver, who do you see continuing their winning ways in lucky Week 13?
Ladies and gentlemen, don't snooze on this matchup here. We've got two teams coming off huge upset victories last week. Carolina beating what feels like the most formidable foe in SFL history in the Baltimore Vultures, and Denver squeezing out a victory from Las Vegas. Hey, Baltimore and Las Vegas are on the other block, so if you have time, watch both those games. But anyways, this is mainly going to be the focus on the Skyhawks here. They are 5-5. They still have a chance at the playoffs. They need to win out. That is the big key here. But Denver, coming off a big win against Las Vegas, they are hungry to get their record back into form after a year and a half of woes, I guess you could say. Nonetheless, we got ourselves a fantastic matchup here, Big Z.
We sure do, and Denver at 3-7 looking to make some noise as they slip into that good night. No playoff appearance for them on the horizon. Carolina, however, they need to win out, and they need some help as well. Should be a fantastic matchup. Don't go anywhere as Carolina, wearing white from head to toe, facing Denver. And it will be the Nightwings getting the ball first. Set to kick it away for Carolina. Malone Brown in his second SFL season. William McDowell waiting in the wings, and here we go. Underway here in Denver. McDowell right up the middle. McDowell will get out to the 24-yard line. And here comes Gene Struthers, the rookie, and the Denver Nightwings offense, Brett.
And Struthers didn't play the most squeaky of clean games. He still threw for 3 interceptions, but he was 42 of 57 for 389. He had plenty of times to throw that in the air, but I'm hoping this first drive we're going to see a lot of BOS, Bailey O'Shaughnessy.
It's been a relatively stable season for the rookie, and he throws on first down, and that is complete to Logan Keel. Traditionally a deep threat in this Denver offense, but runs a nice little 5 and out to come up with 8 yards to make it 2nd and 2.
And here, yeah, like you said, usually the deep threat of the offense, Logan Keel, he's on pace, maybe after tonight, to be one of the 15 wide receivers this season to hit the 1,000-yard mark in this campaign. So we got to keep an eye on him tonight.
And closing in on 9,000 career yardage all time. He's sitting at 88.73. That's 21st best in the SFL all-time records. And O'Shaughnessy will convert on first down with short yardage up the middle. And Denver moving the chains on their opening drive.
Yeah, and this is what Denver did a lot in their last game that got the victory against Las Vegas, was trying to take care of that time of possession, trying to dominate, as much time as possible with their drives, make it long and arduous, and make that defense get tired.
Short drop for Struthers, and O'Shaughnessy catches it on the flare route. And let's meet this Denver Nightwings offense. On the offensive line, Gene Benazzi. Wide receiver core, William McDowell in his first season in Denver. Riley Quintero, Logan Keel, and the rookie Dylan Lewis. Bailey O'Shaughnessy is the halfback. R.E. Mills in his 6th SFL season is the fullback. Jeremy Mosley, the tight end, and Gene Struthers playing in his 13th career SFL game, and he's going to take a sack.
Hey.
Big time sack by DJ Majesty in his 12th SFL season, and that's going to set back the Denver offense.
And Carolina only got to Jack Wigmore once, 1 sack against Baltimore, but that wasn't the key there. They forced 7 interceptions from Wiggy Dimes last week, and that's what got them their 23-point win. They're looking to do the same thing with Struthers here.
Denver forced into 3rd and long. Struthers has to let it rip, and does, throwing into double coverage, and that falls incomplete. Davison Joseph had a hand on it, but could not bring it in, and here comes the punt team for Denver.
Yeah, and Joseph, not one of the guys who had an interception against Baltimore, was definitely had perfect positioning on that deep pass to at least get his hands on that football. And it's going to be an early 3-and-out here for Denver. Carolina will get an opportunity to take the lead here after this punt.
Kiddo Vasquez waiting at his own 15-yard line for the punt. Harish Prasad, one of the best to ever do it, waiting for the punt return. No pressure from Carolina. Punt is away. Prasad at his own 33 will get maybe a couple on his way to the 36-yard line. And here comes the Carolina offense.
Yeah, and Carolina used Ike McBride to her best utilization this season. Talk about 31 carries, 171, and a score, along with 61 in the air. We're talking close to 250 all-purpose yards from McBride last week.
And her 9 catches led the team in that category as well. Matt South under center, hands off to McBride. And the 6th-year pro is up the middle for 5 yards to make it 2nd and 5.
And here's what we don't talk enough about with Ike McBride is that combination of speed and power that she brings to the table for Carolina. It makes Matt South's day much easier when she gets going.
And she is probably one of the biggest, if not the biggest, blue-collar back in terms of being able to take contact and run north and south as well. South of the shotgun here, under pressure, and down he goes. A big-time sack at the hands of Igor Barbatov. And that will set back the Carolina offense 3rd and long.
You want to talk about Denver's key defensive moments last week against Las Vegas? It was getting to Eric Price 5 times, 5 sacks, and Barbatov had 2 of his own, and now he keeps on adding to that marker. Give him a grand total of 5.5 sacks for this season.
32.5 on the career for the 6th-year defensive tackle. 3rd and long, South over the middle. That is fumble.
Oh, no, it's
and
not.
And it looks like Denver's going to get it. We're going to have a review on this, Brett.
Absolutely. That's got to be a challengeable offense. Like, you could see the catch made by Vince DeSantis. Didn't even have 2 full feet down before the fumble was declared. This is probably one of the easier challenges to make here.
And there is the challenge flag from the Carolina sideline. And R62 will go under the hood after announcing it. And we've seen this before, Brett, and you know, we've seen more than one of these stand as well. But take us through the replay.
So if you look really close here, once DeSantis makes the slant, you got to look at the feet. Did he have a proper football movement after the catch? And I believe he didn't even have the proper catch before getting into his motion, so this has to be reversed.
He might have had 1 foot down, wasn't able to turn his head upfield, and the ruling on the field is overturned. Carolina will keep their timeout, and they'll keep the football as well.
Yeah, that's big there for Carolina. It's irregardless of the fact you're heading into 4-down territory here, and you'd rather punt the football away and push Denver back in their ensuing drive instead of having Denver start in enemy territory.
And Grande waiting inside his own 20 to kick this away. And again, no pressure from the returning team. McDowell at the 32 will fair catch, and Denver's going to go back on offense.
Yeah, and really the key here, I think, for this Denver drive is they got to find a way to get O'Shaughnessy a little bit of breathing room on, you know, I would say probably a stretch run or two, and he can get himself going by getting some big yards if necessary. But really, Denver's offense, I think, starts and ends in this game with O'Shaughnessy.
And what better way to get O'Shaughnessy going than with R.E. Mills, who's in at fullback. And it'll be Mills catching the flare pass, but he is dropped for a loss. Outstanding coverage on the pass play by Mojo McClain, the rookie, bringing down Mills for a loss.
Well, here's the problem here is that the penalty flew, and I think we're going to see a neutral zone infraction that's going to negate that TFL for McClain, and Denver is going to get a free 1st down, 1st and 5 coming up for the Nightwings.
Ryan Ray, the offending party. And that is no bueno. And as you said, Brett, Mills' loss will be negated. And now the ever so fashionable 1st and 5 coming up here. Mills will stay in the game. Whiteouts on either side. Mosley, the tight end, to Struthers left. And there's the handoff to O'Shaughnessy. And O'Shaughnessy met at the line of scrimmage. Nowhere to go for that man. Danny Stinson first on the scene. And Shravan Prasad there to make the tackle as well. 2nd and 5.
Yeah, you had 2 linebackers coming in, and Mills completely missed the assignment. You could see right on that play, Mills went breezing through both Stinson and Prasad, and that's what led to that loss.
Denver will stay in a 2-back set. This time it's Mills up the middle. Mills getting his 2nd touch of the 1st quarter. It does not fare much better, only a yard. Stinson again on the stop.
Yeah, again, another combination between Stinson and Prasad. And once again, no proper blocking to help out Mills this time. Thankfully for Mills, it's at least a yard. It's going to set up a 3rd and medium situation. But the split back game isn't working here for this drive for the Nightwings.
Struthers closing in on 3,000 yards for the season. Does he put it into the air on 3rd and 4? He will. Drop back, unleashing the dragon.
Oh,
and
boy.
that is nearly intercepted. Had the one-on-one coverage he was looking for, trying to find Quintero. But the pass a little bit short and fortunately falls incomplete. Davidson Joseph again.
Again, another great job of coverage from Joseph. Seeing Quintero go deep on that route, and Joseph just stayed back, waited for Quintero to get to him before he started running step for step, and just stayed on pace with the football. That is what you want to see from your corners. If you're not going to get interceptions, you want to deflect those 3rd down deep passes and force Denver to punt the football away.
And Brett, I got to say, that was a great pass by Struthers. Unfortunately for him, the defense from Davidson Joseph just a little bit better.
Oh, it's very true.
The punt is away, pressure coming. Vasquez does get it loose. Prasad out to the 28-yard line. And that is where the Skyhawks will take over on offense. If you're new to the SFL, the Simulation Football League combines traditional sports, esports, and a role-playing game into one. Team strategies are executed in real time by our simulations as real-life players compete on the virtual gridiron. For more information about the SFL, visit our website at simulationfl.net. The SFL, it's football for everyone. Carolina will begin their 2nd drive of the game with 3 wideouts on the field and handing off to Ike McBride. And Ike McBride will get maybe 2 yards. Let's meet this Carolina Skyhawks offense. The wide receiving core, Chase Earl, Heath McDaniel Jr., and Harish Prasad. The tight ends, Xavier Solomon in his rookie season, Vince DeSantis in his 5th SFL season, Hattori Hanzo in his 3rd year. He's the fullback. Ike McBride in her 6th SFL season, and Matt South, his 4th season at Carolina, his 8th season overall. He have over 23,000 passing yards. What a career he's had, and we'll have to muster something magical here on 3rd and long to get the chains going. Carolina yet to have a 1st down in this game, Brett.
Yeah, right now both defenses playing pretty well so far in this game, really playing tit for tat in terms of pass deflections and TFLs. We've already seen 1 sack from each defense so far. But now Carolina here pulling all the stops here. Empty set, full receivers.
Mike McBride will get a rest. Matt South will try to get this 1st down. Pressure coming, and down he goes. Never had a chance. It's Barbatov again, his 2nd sack of the game.
Yeah, and that was just a complete breakdown of the offensive line, because when you have a moment as a quarterback, when you're back in the pocket in an empty set, you want that offensive line to be ready so that you can have 4 to 5 seconds of coverage so you can look through your progressions. And the center just did none of it, just maybe 1 or 2 seconds. That's not enough time for him.
Grande back to punt. William McDowell waiting for the offering. No pressure from Denver. McDowell will fair catch at the 42. And that's where Denver will take over. Brad, Carolina pulled off the mother of all upsets, knocking off defending champion Baltimore in a game that was not close at all. And they've really struggled on the offensive side of the ball, especially here.
Yeah, and you look at the stat line, you see 33-10, you're thinking to yourself, they must have done something to really shake the boots of Baltimore, who's a team, you can't win by 23 all that often, and you just see, they forced Jack Wigmore to 7 picks. That's the key to their victory there.
The secondary has looked good for Carolina so far. Shaughnessy around the left side, and finally does find a sliver of daylight, but only 2 yards to show for it, 2nd and 8.
Yeah, it's going to be real tough for it looks like the running game here, because Shervon Prasad, and we've said Danny Stinson's name a couple times in this game, they really have their eyes set on the running backs first and let their defensive line focus on Struthers.
And now heavy set. But Struthers will throw under pressure, and down he goes. A gaggle of Carolina defenders getting in there. Among them, Christopher Colon, to add to his total of 5 sacks on the season. 3rd and long.
Yeah, we're talking back and forth, back and forth. The last Carolina drive, Denver got a sack. Now, Carolina's defense gets a sack on Struthers. 2 apiece now on the sacks allowed category.
You see only 3 total yards of offense for both of these teams. Struthers will try and change that here. Dumping it over the middle. That is caught. That's Dylan Lewis, the rookie, well short of the marker. And that was Skippy Curtis slow to get up, but finally does get to her feet. But Denver will punt it away all the same. That's a 3 and out.
You can tell that play went from optimistic to completely lost in the span of about 2 seconds as the receivers went deep. But again, the secondary did a great job in just covering their men and forcing the dump off for just a yard.
And the pass rush from Carolina has really forced Struthers into some unpleasant situations. And that is none too pleasant there for Prasad as he gets out to the 25-yard line. The SFL convention is coming to Cincinnati, Ohio, July 28th through 30th for Season 21 kickoff weekend. For room reservation details and the weekend schedule, see the Convention Alerts channel and the SFL Discord server. You can find that from the website. Rooms are going fast. Reserve your special group rate today. And I will see you there to welcome you personally. Matt South throws on 1st down. He finds McBride. McBride scrubbing for yardage. Can only find 2 yards there. 2nd and 6. Stephon Forger there on the stop.
Now, as we enter this 5th drive of the game already, and we're only 8 minutes old into this contest, we might be seeing some hard-nosed football coming from both sides, as evident from this McBride dump and run.
Short drop for South. That is nearly intercepted. Looking for Chase Earl. Ron Hoff flying into your picture screen to make it 3rd and long. And Brett, I don't think it's been a question of discordant offenses. I think both of these defenses showed up to play tonight.
No, that's exactly it, because just from that play alone there, it looked like Hoff was a little bit offline with that football, but he managed to reach his outstretched arm to at least get a tip on that football to prevent the out route. And again, it's another 3rd and long situation here for the Skyhawks.
South in the shotgun, trips to his left, along with McBride. 4-man rush, stepping up in the pocket. South is going to run and barely get back to the line of scrimmage before Devin King brings him down. And that is our 3rd straight 3 and out. These defenses are packing a punch tonight.
And again, it's a breakdown of that offensive line. And this time, South decided to basically go flight on the fight or flight option, tried to at least get back to the scrimmage, and thankfully he did. But again, like you said, 3rd straight 3 and out, and it's back Denver's way.
Grande boots it away. McDowell will fair catch again. We've not seen a lot of return yardage either. A lot of fair catches in the punting game as McDowell raises his arm and waves it vigorously at his own 41-yard line.
Yeah, this has been tough offensively for both sides here, and it's not to their faults or anything like that. They're trying every trick in the book so far. We've seen different formations. We've seen different routes from the wide receivers. We've seen different approaches from the running backs, and here we see it again. Denver going with a different formation the first time we've seen this today.
4-man rush. Struthers gets it loose, and I think that is going to be the key to success as McDowell brings it in for 4 yards, getting the ball out quickly, and Struthers does just that on 1st down.
Yeah, so that means that we're going to see a lot of short plays. This is going to be a lot of, we'll see more quick slants. We'll see some out routes, some short out routes, and it's going to be nickel and diming forward just to get 1st downs at this point.
Logan Keel at the bottom of your screen. Ari Mills back in the game. Struthers in the shotgun. Max protect. The throw is there. Riley Quintero brings it in for the biggest gain so far of this game.
It's all about shifting and changing formations, shifting and changing routes to get your defense guessing. And now Denver's starting to see the little holes that Carolina is giving them defensively and they find one on the left side, not quite the middle. It's just outside the hash marks. They get it right to Quintero for the biggest gain in this first quarter.
Gain of 18 for Quintero on his first catch of the evening on his third target. And this Denver offense starting to hum. Carolina on the twist. Struthers will dump it off and will somehow manage positive yardage as Quintero makes his second straight catch. 2nd and 8.
Yeah, I think that one was more so a nervous throw from Struthers because you had your tight end Mosley a little bit open on that left side. He just didn't see him. Goes with the dump down option to Quintero. At least he got a couple yards out of it, though.
Slot receiver to Struthers' right. Ari Mills will stay in the game. Lead the way for O'Shaughnessy, and O'Shaughnessy can barely get back to the original line of scrimmage. Phil Hall and Mojo McClain in there on the stop together. It's going to be 3rd and 8.
Yeah, and what's been the story so far in the run game in this first quarter is that the defensive lines of each team has really swarmed up the middle of the field. We haven't seen these stretch runs yet, and I'm a big fan of the stretch run. I always hearken to these teams. You got to utilize the stretch run more often. We got to see it here.
Empty set now for Struthers. Throwing out to the right side. That is McDowell. Hill will be short of the marker. But that might be within range of Ye Verity as the offense will trot off the field with time winding down here in the first quarter.
Yeah, this looks to be around a 48-yarder, maybe 47. Verity is 16 of 19 this season. It's not a guarantee from this far out, but we're going to be scoreless at the end of this first quarter.
Verity will have to wait for the break to find the first points of this game, potentially. You're watching the SFL presented by APM Music on SFL YouTube. Denver, Colorado, Week 13 SFL action. Josh Zirkle joining Brett Solberg here in the booth. Tom Kiefer and Ron Haynes on stats. Thank you, gentlemen. Cameron Irvine producing. Ye Verity from 47 yards off the right hash. Spot is down. Kick is up. And it is good from 47. Ye Verity. And the Denver Nightwings strike first. Brett, it's 3-0.
Yeah, and it's just that one big catch from Quintero really just flipped the field here for Denver, and they could, breathe easy a little bit there. They've broken the deadlock. We've got some points on the board. It's now 3-0 for Denver. Now it's to continue that momentum on their side, to keep stopping Carolina and keep that goose egg on their side.
And as you mentioned, Brett, that one play was all it took. Carolina can take some respite from that. They still have to find their first down of the game. As Verity will boot this away to Prasad. Waiting at his own 3-yard line. Straight up the field he goes. And he will fight his way to the 29-yard line. And Matt South and company will try to find their first points of the game.
Yeah, and it's a rough first quarter for them. Talk about -4 yards. Right after, a huge performance against Baltimore. Kind of laying an egg so far in this first quarter. They definitely need to step it up here in the second.
Matt South only one completion on the game so far. We'll hand off to McBride here, and McBride dropped for a loss. Outstanding tackle was that Stephon Forge breaking through the Carolina front for a TFL.
And again, it's the defensive lines of both of these teams that are giving, these running backs a hard time. And again, this time the edge rushers really come in to disrupt this offensive line and have Forge come in as that second line guy to get to McBride.
Trip to South's left, and there is a completion. And that looks like Vince DeSantis, the tight end, who ran away from the trip set to make it 3rd and manageable.
And that's what Carolina needs to do here. They're going to have to use the same approach as Denver and use those short plays to their advantage. That was just a short out route to DeSantis. South maybe had 2 seconds to think and throw that football. That's what they need to do.
Hattori Hanzo in the game at fullback. And South will throw to the left, and that is Chase Earl. And Earl will get a first down with his first catch of the game.
And again, they just need to continue using the out routes, seeing what they can find open on quick passes, because the defensive lines for both of these teams have been stellar for these first 13 minutes of this game so far. So they just need to continue just, getting these quick shot passes out.
4 sacks in their first quarter of play. There are a lot of games where I've seen 4 sacks. McBride up the middle. Gets skinny. Trucks a defender on her way to midfield. And outstanding run on first down by Ike McBride.
As another broadcast partner of ours would say, Nick Kindler, welcome to the Shadow Realm. Ike McBride sends you all the way down. Oh, sorry, that's not even Kindler. Sorry, TJ Frosty. You found yourself in the deepest, darkest pits. You're in the Antarctica parts of the Shadow Realm, my friend.
I hate it when the Shadow Realm makes clerical errors like that. South under center here on second and short. Throwing to the right side, and that's caught. Turning upfield, what a move there by Heath McDaniel Jr. to get into plus territory for the first time today.
And that's a two-part great play from McDaniel Jr. You'll see on the replay here, just on a nice little out route, outstretches on the catch from Nick Kindler, and then adds a spin move to it to get another 5 to 6 yards. Just a spin move. See you later. Vider Zane, get myself an extra couple yards there. And like you said, Josh, enemy territory for the first time for the Skyhawks offense squad.
Gain of 12 for McDaniel Jr. Longest play for Carolina so far tonight. Hatanzo and McBride in the power I. Two tight ends on the field. McBride gets the call. Up the middle. And McBride starting to get loose here in the early goings of the second quarter.
Yeah, there was a lot of touches for McBride early on, mainly because that Carolina offense was stifled completely. But now it's starting to break open a little bit here. This Denver defense starting to show their holes now defensively, and it's giving McBride an opportunity to get big trucking yards.
7 in the box. And again, McBride barreling between the tackles. It comes up with a first down. You see the numbers there on McBride. They are only getting stronger.
Yeah, and it just seems like it's becoming an inevitability that McBride is going to get her 4 to 5 to 6 yards, and that eventually she'll just break out for, this, double-digit run. And right now, Carolina's got that offense cooking.
And you can see that nickelback kind of creeping into the box there. Not quite 8. And again, McBride gets the call. And this Denver defense getting a very generous helping of Ike McBride here on this drive in the second quarter.
And really, the pizza line, as some people like to call Carolina's offensive line, really starting to push themselves a little bit forward because, they let Matt South down for sure in this first quarter, so they got to give McBride some protection running down the field.
Denver shifting, and South will throw here. This time McBride gets it through the air. And Stephon Forge brings her down in the red zone for Carolina's first trip inside the opposing 20-yard line.
Yeah, now it's really just the utilization of McBride through this drive that has pushed Carolina into this red zone opportunity. They're for sure, looking at 3 points with Malone Brown later on, but they're really hoping for a touchdown. And I like this formation. Look where the corners are set on the top of your screen.
Watching the quarterback the whole way south toward the end zone. That is caught! McDaniel Jr. with the first touchdown of the game. Carolina strikes back.
Yeah, and I was so focused on that left-hand side of the field that I didn't even see McDaniel get open himself, but you'll see here just a perfectly placed football from Matt South as McDaniel broke past Nick Kindler, who, has had a rough last couple of minutes here, but nonetheless, Carolina finds themselves on the board after a very tough first quarter, 71 yards already on this drive alone to get themselves their 6.
What a drive. 10 plays, 71 yards. And so much of that was Ike McBride setting the table for Matt South to find Heath McDaniel Jr. in the end zone to make this a 7-3 game. Coming up tomorrow on Easter Sunday, the loser gets eliminated. Both the Portland Fleet and Sioux Falls Sparrows sit at 4-6, needing to win out to still have a chance to make the postseason. Kickoff is at 9 p.m. Eastern, with the day's action starting at 6:30 p.m. Eastern. All of that on SFL YouTube. McDowell from his own goal line will get out to the 24-yard line. And Brett, the order for Denver just got a little bit taller after that drive from Carolina.
Yeah, and they thought they did pretty well by at least getting down the field and getting a Yay Verity field goal out of it. But now after Carolina responding with a touchdown, It's time to step up, Denver. What do you got on your bag of tricks to get yourself a touchdown?
And with these teams, each of them facing really fierce pass rushes, you've got to wonder what the rookie has in store. Dig himself out of this hole. Short drop for Struthers, throwing over the middle, looking for Mills, and that was nearly intercepted. Danny Stinson, no fooling that man. The 6th-year inside linebacker nearly picks it off.
Yeah, you can see the pressure was off a little bit from that defensive line of Carolina, but they had their linebackers set back a little bit so they could cover the middle, and that was a utilized play from Carolina's defensive coordinator. And yeah, you get to see Danny Stinson try his hands on a pass deflection.
Ari Mills in at fullback. 2 tight end set. O'Shaughnessy gets a call. O'Shaughnessy has to fight up a defender in his own backfield and still gets a first down. An outstanding run by Bailey O'Shaughnessy.
This is what I've been saying all season. Teams, you need to start using the stretch run more often and trust in your running backs. And you can see O'Shaughnessy breaks off Phil Hall at first and then trusts one of the offensive linemen to basically block 2 defenders so that O'Shaughnessy can stretch further left to get more space and get those 15 yards for the first down.
Easily biggest run of the day so far for O'Shaughnessy. We'll get the call again, and he trucks another defender, and another spin move, and another first down for Bailey O'Shaughnessy.
Big credit on that run again. Great blocking from the tight end, Jeremy Mosley, because after the shedded tackle on the line of scrimmage, Mosley had a key block to help O'Shaughnessy get extra yards, because it would have been maybe 2 yards without that block. Instead, another first down for Denver.
And Denver back in plus territory. Carolina side of the 50-yard line. Play action. And Struthers will throw to his left, and that is Quintero again. And another nice gain on first down for Riley Quintero.
And again, if they're going to go with the pass, they got to go with a quick option. You can see the edge rusher on that left side, really, or that right side of Struthers, really getting close to him, and he manages to have enough time to sling that rock to the left and get Quintero for the out route catch.
He did have enough time, but just barely enough time. That Carolina pass rush still bearing down on the rookie. O'Shaughnessy stretcher on the right side this time, has another first down before Shrivon Prasad can seat him at the 39-yard line.
And again, great pressure from Carolina. It was just too little too late as the nimble feet of O'Shaughnessy gets past the edge rusher, Chris Colon, and gets the first down for Denver. Really starting to cook now, and it's really been through the legs of Bailey O'Shaughnessy.
Quintero is the receiver at the top of your screen. Struthers with a short drop, throws to his left. Now O'Shaughnessy has room to run, outruns his blocker. Jeremy Mosley could have set the table for him, but Monte Wyatt got there first. But still a nice gain on first down.
No, you exactly said it. It was O'Shaughnessy just running past Mosley. Didn't give Mosley enough time to get ahead for that block, and that would have turned into a first down, but they'll easily take 8 yards for a second and short.
And now another 2 tight end set. And O'Shaughnessy gets the call again, and nowhere to go this time. O'Shaughnessy dropped for a loss. Shrivon Prasad. I think Christopher Colon was in there as well to make it 3rd and 2.
So that was an interesting play from Carolina there. They brought the free safety Monty Wyatt in as kind of this, rushing aid option, and he comes in with the joint tackle with Prasad and gets O'Shaughnessy right to the line of scrimmage.
And Denver ran that 2 tight end set, and both tight ends just totally whiffed on their blocks. Play action here from Struthers. Struthers avoids the rush, and it throws to the right side, and that is caught. McDowell with the first down.
Man, you got to think from the mind of DJ Majesty, I should have gotten Struthers. But if we're going to see this replay here, no, we're not going to see Struthers right away. But that is just, an ice in your veins kind of moment from the rookie as he just sidesteps Majesty and gives himself an extra second to settle and throw that ball. That is a veteran pocket presence from a rookie in Gene Struthers.
What a drive here from Gene Struthers. Time winding down here in the first half. Trips again. Short drop from Struthers, and again, the out route is there. This time it's Logan Keel picking up 6 yards. That'll stop the clock with 3:28 remaining in the half.
And right now, it just seems like Struthers has that confidence. Despite Carolina's defensive line really swarming him, that pocket really is, smaller than usual, and it keeps getting smaller and smaller. He's already been sacked twice in this first quarter. He hasn't been touched quite yet in the second, but you can't see him getting shackled by this defensive line.
Mills in the offset eye will lead the way for O'Shaughnessy inside the 10. And then finally is brought down by Danny Stinson. It looked like Davidson Joseph was trying to tie his shoe or something, but we'll give him half a tackle as well. But it's 1st and goal for Denver.
A fantastic entourage of blockers on the left side.
There it is.
For O'Shaughnessy to go through. And it just seemed like easy going to get O'Shaughnessy that first down. And now Denver, in a goal line situation, has themselves ready to go. Split backs. Watch out.
Carolina looking shifty. And O'Shaughnessy stopped at the line. And Stinson was there again along with Christopher Colon. And that line just collapsed on the 4th-year halfback. 2nd and goal.
Yeah, and again, it goes to show the stretch run really working for both of these teams. And whenever you go back to running down the middle, that line just shores it right up, and you can see it from Chris Colon.
A huge cushion here from the Carolina secondary. On 2nd and goal, and Struthers will throw to the right this time. O'Shaughnessy with the spin move gets inside the 5, and then brought down at the 4-yard line. Lincoln Kingseed there on the stop.
And if you can still see here, we can see Tristan Hatley still flying down midfield with that dive attempt.
Big 3rd down coming up here, but first a 2-minute warning. We're watching the SFL presented by APM Music on SFL YouTube. Denver, Colorado, Week 13 SFL action. Josh Circle, Brett Solberg in the booth. Top key for Ron Haynes on stats. Cameron Irvine producing. Denver looking for their first touchdown of the game with 2 minutes to play in the first half. Carolina's going to jump off sides.
Oh, this is going to be interesting. I'm pretty sure they'll get a free play out of this, and they'll inch themselves forward a couple yards on it as well. So, not a great time for Carolina, as they could have forced another Ye Verity field goal out of this, but instead they're going to give Denver one more opportunity for the end zone.
Ryan Ray, that is his 2nd encroachment penalty of the game. Had one in the first quarter. And now the ball will be moved to the Carolina 2, half the distance. So really good value on the penalty when you think about it. If you want to look at it from a cost standpoint. But it brings Denver that much closer to their first touchdown of the game. 2 tight end set. Sam Blanchek, backup tight end in the game, along with Jeremy Mosley on the outside. O'Shaughnessy, stop on the line. Nowhere to go for Bailey O'Shaughnessy. It's DJ Majesty.
Yeah, and you can see that just after that ball was snapped, there was about 7 or 8 Carolina defenders just swarming the middle of that offensive line. Gave O'Shaughnessy no chance whatsoever to get any forward momentum going. And now Carolina doesn't pay from their penalty and will force Ye Verity out for the chip shot.
Just outside the 10-yard line is where this ball is going to be spotted. Verity was 2 for 2 last week. Hit from 47 earlier in this game to start the second quarter. And will help close out the second quarter with a 20-yard attempt, and that is good. And Denver pulls within a point of Carolina.
And now it's decision time here for Carolina. Are they going to use that last 75 seconds to get some points themselves and extend that lead heading into halftime? Or are they going to settle for that 1-point lead?
A 1-point lead feels like a 10-point lead the way this game has been going so far. As Verity will boot it away. Prasad from his own 5. Straight up the middle. And then down at the 27-yard line. Miss any SFL action? Check out highlights of SFL games on the SFL YouTube channel and on Highlight Nation, provided by Victor's Valiant, YouTube's premier sports highlight maker. Subscribe to Highlight Nation and Victor's Valiant on YouTube for all your sports highlight needs. Decision time for Carolina. And they decide to hand off to Hattori Hanzo. And to answer your question from earlier, Brett, it looks like Carolina will be content to take this 1-point lead into the locker room at intermission.
Yeah, so far here, they're not. Yeah, it looks like they're really still hurrying things up in terms of play formation. They might see something they like from the Denver defense here, but we'll see how quickly they snap this football.
Seeing a lot of cushion from Nick Kindler at the bottom of your screen. But now South is going to take a big drop, and he's going to throw it, and that is deflected. Outstanding defense by Stephon Forge, showing some hops for an outside linebacker. 3rd and 11.
Yeah, that was a great, basketball tip-off kind of jump from Forge as well, and just not in a great, not in a ideal position to deflect the pass, but he uses his height and his reach to get to that football, and kind of have South second guessing here on 3rd down, but they've got empty set.
No running backs here on the field. Absolutely, South in the shotgun, clock running. Over the middle goes South, and that is caught. Haris Prasad makes the catch. Will be short of the marker, and they could conceivably take this all the way down to zeros if Denver doesn't call timeout.
And I really think they will at this point because that last 3rd and 11 play, it just didn't really work out for them. They went all slants. They kind of went with their short option with Prasad. It didn't work out. We might see the punt happen regardless on here, but as the fair catch happens, or even afterwards, we might see triple zeros. We're gonna head to this locker room at 7-6. It's like a lacrosse score here.
They do snap it. And Grande does punt it away. McDowell will fair catch at the 32. No highlight return there. And that will end the first half. Carolina looking to get off the 500 mark. They're on their way, leading Denver 7-6. Brett Solberg, your thoughts on the first half?
Really, it's just been slow goings for both of these offenses here, and we really saw a showcase of talents here in the second quarter. And right now, the focus for both these teams is to continue getting that offense going because both defenses have been spectacular in this first half.
Carolina will get the ball to start the second half. And you see the numbers there. Denver leading in total yardage. Carolina leading where it matters most on the scoreboard. Prasad out to the 27-yard line. And that is where Matt South and friends will take over. 4 punts. And McDaniel Jr. TD is the story of the offense so far for Carolina. Denver has not fared much better. They have a pair of Yay Verity field goals to show for their efforts. And Carolina looking to extend their 1-point lead. And Matt South will throw on first down. Lobbing one to the corner, and that is well placed into the hands of Heath McDaniel Jr. Good for 6 yards, 2nd and 4.
Yeah, McDaniel, quite arguably, has probably been the MVP of both wide receiver cores so far in this game. He is the overall leader. 3 catches for 35 yards and a touchdown now for him. As both of these passing games have been, not to the standards of SFL, normalcy, but they're doing their job okay.
Another drop for South. And that is nearly picked off, but Prasad makes the catch. Going to be another first down. Let's meet this Denver Nightwings defense, on a defensive line. The rookie, Robert Brady, Igor Barbatov, John Nevels in his first season in Denver, and Hugo Reynosa. The linebacking core, Devin King, Stephon Forge, and Ramiro Morales. And in the secondary, Roscoe Santagria, Ron Hoff, Josh Neal, TJ Frosty, Lucas DeVore, and Nick Kindler. And that throw over the hand of Ron Hoff into the hands of Chase Earl. And that is another first down for Carolina.
Yeah, just another unfortunate, defensive, gaff a little bit here for Denver as it just falls out of the hands. The first play escapes the outreached hands of Roscoe Santagria. And then this time it escapes the hand of Ron Hoff. And now Carolina's got a first down. And really, they got to continue carrying this momentum now into enemy territory.
This is the kind of game where it pays to have a veteran quarterback like Matt South, who's been there and done that. Ike McBride, nowhere to go. They're going to spot her with a 1-yard gain. But I think every Denver Nightwing was in on that tackle, 2nd and 9.
Yeah, a huge mix of blue and white. It was tough to decipher where the football was even at or even where Ike McBride was. There was just way too many people around. They're going to say 1 yard for McBride.
Tori Hanzo lined up directly in front of McBride, who gets the call again, trucking a defender, and this time fighting her way to the 41-yard line to make it 3rd and long.
Yeah, and it just seems like Denver's defense was really starting to now key in on McBride after she had, one really good drive that really pushed forward and got her carries for, 6, 7, 8 yards. Now McBride's going to get a rest. Empty set here on 3rd and 6.
4 wide receivers. Vince DeSantis on the field as well. South over the middle. That is caught. And I think that is DeSantis making the catch. It's slow to get up. Is the 5th-year tight end, but he just got his team a 1st down.
Yeah, and that's just where the all slants comes into benefit for any team there. You're always going to have somebody open on a 90 all slants, and this time it was the inside right side receiver that happened to be tight end Vince DeSantis, and his reward for that, a demolishing tackle from TJ Frosty.
Ike McBride back on the field, along with Hattori Hanzo, the fullback. And that is caught by DeSantis on the out route, and that is another 1st down for the tight end.
And that's just great awareness from South, seeing that Denver's secondary went deep and didn't really have much, didn't have, a lot of open space down deep, but he had tons of space down close and saw the flat route of DeSantis, open up for that easy pitch, catch, and run to get another 1st down.
DeSantis on the bottom of your screen this time. Just 1 wide receiver in the game. McBride up the middle. No, excuse me, that's Hanzo on the carry, and Hattori Hanzo gets his team to the Denver 10-yard line, 2nd and 6.
Yeah, and they've really tried to, split the carries on a 2-to-1 basis between McBride and Hanzo, but right now, not a bad time to throw Hanzo in for a carry to at least see what he can get for you.
Absolutely. McBride on the swing pass to the 10. Popped out of bounds at the 6 by Stephon Forge, who's been everywhere for this Denver defense tonight. And then now 3rd and 2 for Carolina.
Yeah, and this is uncharted territory tonight for Carolina, as this is the closest they've gotten to the end zone in terms of ball placement. If you take away the 17-yard touchdown from earlier, and now Denver's going to treat their goal line defense pretty well here.
South throwing out of the heavy set, finds McBride inside the 5, has the 1st down into the end zone for the touchdown. Ike McBride.
And again, you've got TJ Frosty, who's already in the Antarctic regions of the Shadow Realm. You got a neighbor in that Shadow Realm, Mr. Frosty. That's the name of Ron Hoff. Just demolished shoulder to shoulder by McBride, and we talk about the power of Ike McBride so much that it's just, commonplace to see her just demolish anyone in front of her. Another score for Carolina extends their lead potentially to 8.
Spot is down, kick is up, and the lead is 8. An outstanding short yardage touch by Ike McBride caps off another 10-play drive, 74 yards. And South was spectacular on that play, a perfect 7 for 7 to give Carolina an 8-point lead. Don't leave the broadcast without joining our Discord server. So much more to do in the SFL than just being a player. Visit simulationfl.net and click on the Discord icon in the menu. McDowell will run this out, and we'll get to the 21-yard line. And we're about to see Denver's opening drive of the 2nd half.
Yeah, and right now, with Carolina scoring a touchdown here to start off the 2nd half, Denver can't really settle with field goals here. They need to, pull something out of their repertoire to get either Bailey O'Shaughnessy going or get one of these receivers out on a deep throw.
Struthers in the shotgun here, perhaps sensing the urgency of the moment. High snap, but he handles it. Throwing over the middle, that is caught. An outstanding catch in traffic by Quintero, who's really been a security blanket for Struthers tonight.
Yeah, and I love that any kind of passing play that has two crossing receivers. I just learned that most plays they usually call that a scissors play, where they have two receivers cut across and it looks like a pair of scissors at the end of the day. Mosley went on a cross on the left side, which left Quintero open on that crossing right.
Shaughnessy is going to get dropped at the 37. That was Lincoln Kinseed, who is closing in on 500 tackles, and according to our records, he has just achieved that milestone. Congratulations, Lincoln Kinseed. 500 tackles all time.
Yeah, and if I'm not mistaken, he was a former Vancouver Legion member, so I have to give him extra congratulatory remarks on his momentous occasion.
Struthers under pressure and finds Logan Keel, but Keel's out of bounds, so no catch. 3rd and 5.
Yeah, you can see what Struthers was doing there, and it was just a little bit too late on the pass. He just waited a bit too long after the fake handoff, it looked like, and it didn't work out because Logan Keel was just a bit too far if you're going to throw that football. But they're going to reset things here, 3rd and 5. They like something here. They're going full receiver empty set.
Yes, they are. Struthers in the shotgun, looking for Mosley, and Mosley cannot come up with the catch. Danny Stinson on the coverage. And here comes the punt team for Denver.
Yeah, they tried to pull a Carolina on that full receiver set and go all slants and go to their tight end in the form of Jeremy Mosley. But this time they had a defender right in front of Mosley to make that catch a little bit too difficult for him to gather there. So now Denver's going to force to punt that football away.
Keno Vasquez will punt this away. And another fair catch by Prasad. Seen a lot of those so far tonight. Carolina will take over at their own 28-yard line when they begin their second drive of the second half. Liking the game so far, smash that like button and subscribe to the channel. The SFL produces over 400 events a year. No one else gives you more football. Don't miss a minute of SFL or SFLM action. And have the channel grow through your support. SFL in 10 years of operation through your viewership. And Brett, I can't be the only one excited about SFLM starting up here soon as Matt South unleashes the dragon. Oh, no. Out of the hands. You gotta be kidding me. Matt South looking for a flag, but will not get it. That was in the breadbasket and just fell right out.
A picture-perfect throw from Matt South, and I think Heath McDaniel Jr. felt the pressure of trying to haul that catch in, and it was just too much for him, and that could be a wasted opportunity for the Skyhawks.
Matt South may not get a prettier look than that one for the rest of the night. Throwing out to McBride, and McBride's going to get dropped for what they're calling no gain. I thought that was a loss. Ramiro Morales in on the stop, along with a gang of others, and it's 3rd and 10.
Yeah, and very quickly, it's 3rd and 10 here for Carolina, as the one unfortunate play turns into an unsuccessful one, and they might look to have lightning in a bottle here. All slants coming up.
Pump fake, and South looks like he did not complete the pass to Chase Earl. He was brought down by Lucas DeVore. And here comes Grande for another punt after the 3-and-out.
Yeah, that's a very quick 3-and-out there for Carolina. They were hoping to, really make Denver pay from punting to them here, but they're going to give Denver back the football so quickly here. And very, very quickly in this game, we're going to be at drive number 13 here.
Plenty of time for Denver, down only by a score. McDowell from his own 35. He takes some contact there. He get dropped on the logo at their own 41-yard line. The best field position Denver's had so far tonight is from the 42, 41, and this drive here also on the 41. And out of the first two drives, they've managed all of 3 points. We'll see if they can improve upon that here.
Yeah, and they need to improve here if they're going to have any chance in, at least tying this game, if not taking the lead.
Smothers under center will throw it on first down, looking over the middle for Quintero, and that is incomplete. Bit of a hasty throw there by the rookie quarterback. Quintero didn't really have a chance to bring that in, I don't think.
Yeah, my question on that pass was for Struthers is where was that going? I don't think that was really intended for Quintero at all. He just saw a blue blur somewhere and just threw it in that general direction. Was way off on that pass.
Keel, Quintero, and McDowell. And trip set at the bottom of your screen. And Struthers will throw to his left this time and find O'Shaughnessy. O'Shaughnessy has a block but can't quite use it. Gets down to the 47 to make it 3rd and 4. Jeremy Mosley, I don't think I'm speaking out of turn when I say the blocking game, especially downfield, has not come easily to him tonight.
No, and I think it's just, he's a half step behind in a lot of these situations, or somebody's just speeding up too fast for him to get that blocking, and it's resulted, tackles being way too early.
O'Shaughnessy gets the first down, managed to break a tackle in the backfield before Christopher Colon brought him down, and that is dare I say, a huge first down for Denver.
Yeah, and I think that's, there we go. That's an interesting challenge here from Harish Prasad. I'm pretty sure this is going to be a first down regardless, but we'll have to see the replay on this challenge.
It depends on where the knee goes down. And as you said, Brett, I thought he had it, but there might be some room for debate here.
Yeah, take a look at this tackle here. You can see right now when you're going falling behind, it's really dependent on the elbow and where that football is placed on that elbow down. So it'll depend on where R62 places that football.
Yeah, that left forearm might have been down as well. And we see the ruling overturned. Wow. Carolina perfect on challenges tonight. 2 for 2. And we're going to see where this leaves Denver.
I think this might make it 4th and inches here.
More like 4th and inch. That is about as close as it gets. Mills with the handoff, and he has the first down. So a bit of a dramatic roller coaster there. O'Shaughnessy gets the first down. It's overturned. And then R.E. Mills converts on 4th and inches. This first down equally as huge as when O'Shaughnessy achieved it, though.
Yeah, and it's basically at the same spot. They're just, consuming a little bit more time. But it was the right call, 4th and inches, to go with the fullback.
Absolutely. Struthers in the shotgun here. Carolina running the twist. Struthers going deep, looking for Quintero, nowhere to go. And that is Davidson Joseph, who has had a tremendous game so far tonight, playing one-on-one coverage on Quintero.
Yeah, and I saw that play transpire right away. When I saw Quintero kind of speed up his jets a little bit, and then I saw the cut inside and then the cut outside. And we've seen that burn defenders all season from different teams, but this time again, the Carolina secondary, probably one of the most underrated in the league.
No argument with that. Struthers looking and finds Logan Keel out of the bunch set, and it's up to Kingseed to bring Keel down, but not before he gets another first down, and the Nightwings are on the march.
Yeah, and really, again, it's all about Denver really using the short game to their advantage, because any opportunity to go deep, it feels, has been really stifled by this Carolina defense. I would say minus the 18-yard catch in that second quarter for Denver that got Quintero, a nice chunk of yards. But aside from that, it's been tough going deep.
Twins to Struthers left. He will throw again, looking for Mills in the flat, and Mills might get a yard. A lot of variety out of the play calling for the Denver offense. And Mills, who's had more than one touch through the air already, makes it 2nd and 9.
Yeah, and right now this has just been really a proverbial chess game between Harish Prasad, the defensive coordinator, and the offensive coordinator, Javier Vasquez from Denver, to really guess what this next play is going to be.
O'Shaughnessy around the left side. We'll have a couple more. But it's just a pile of bodies. Monte Wyatt leading the charge to bring down O'Shaughnessy. And it's 3rd and long.
Yeah, and those are that is 4 hard-nosed yards in 2 plays for Denver to push down. Carolina's been really pushing it here on this set of downs on Denver here. Now forcing a 3rd and, kind of medium situation. And it looks like they're going to haul out 4 receivers again. Watch for the all slants.
This would be a 49-yard field goal if they don't lose yardage on this play. Struthers avoiding the rush.
Yeah, wow.
Finds Logan Keel, and Logan Keel is going to be short of the marker.
Man, you got to give credit again to Gene Struthers, just with the pocket presence and the patience and the wherewithal just to wait until that play opens up. He finds his man, and like you said, just a yard short. If you would have pushed forward, it would have done the trick, but they're still going to go for it on 4th down. They're 1 for 1 here.
The Denver offense staying on the field. This is closer to a yard and a half compared to the 1 inch that they needed that Ori Mills converted earlier in this drive.
They're not going to snap it.
Play clock down to 5. And Struthers will call timeout. That is a costly move in the second half of a 1-score game, Brett.
It absolutely is, and that is not the right call. You should have just went and did a fullback dive with Ori Mills. He would have gotten you that yard and a half regardless here. And now you're down a timeout when you're going to be down 5 if Ye Verity makes this field goal here from about, I would say, 43 yards.
Yeah, obviously, you'd like the touchdown. You have a little bit more than a quarter to play, but they do trot out Verity. And that would make this, as you've done the math for us earlier, Brett, a 5-point game. From the left hash, from 43 yards. Spot is down, kick is up. And Verity puts it through, 43 yards. And just like that, our score is 14-9. Carolina still on top for now.
Yeah, but Denver can't settle for these field goals at this point, because even if Carolina scores 1 out of this, it's going to make it a 1-touchdown game again. So really, it's kind of a half win, half loss here on this Denver drive, because you really wanted to get 6 out of it.
And they had so much momentum on that drive as well. But now Carolina will get their turn with the football. Prasad at his own 2-yard line. And run it up. And dropped with authority by Landon Mack. And I would love to see a great special teams hit. Carolina will take over at the 26-yard line.
Yeah, an interesting fact that Cameron Irvine told me earlier before the game here is that Carolina is entering their 223rd franchise game, and this will be their first one ever in Denver right here. That's interesting, was just how vast the history of this Carolina Skyhawks franchise is, and it's the first time they're playing in Denver.
Remarkable. McBride trucking defenders again. Shadow Realm now booking. It's TJ Frosty this time that felt the wrath of Ike McBride.
It's a double booking for Frosty now. He already got one here late in the stages in the second quarter, and now he gets a double booking here. Charge that credit card twice in a row. Beep, beep. There it is. You got more money against you here, and it's all going into the bank account of Ike McBride.
Well, at least now TJ Frosty will have some more leg room on his way to the Shadow Realm. Nickel set this time for Denver, 3 wide for Carolina. Closing moments of the third quarter. South, short drop on the out route. That is caught by Chase Earl. And that is good for 3 yards, 2nd and 7. Let's sneak over to SFL headquarters for a game update with Cameron Irvine.
Gentlemen, this is just filthy. Watch Warren Murray on this run. He's going to make this first man miss the spin. Watch the second. Ah! Left him behind. Going, almost gone. He ended up scoring 31-13. Baltimore going to take care of business. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Cam. Nice bounce back from Baltimore. Congratulations to them. Carolina, meanwhile, trying to fight for a win of their own. As Harish Prasad makes a catch just short of the marker. It'll be 3rd and 1.
Well, first of all, I always tell my Vancouver people this, but I like to say it in public. Can we test Warren Murray for virtual steroids at this point? He's just a menace to society. But nonetheless, here we are. 3rd and 1 for Carolina, and they've got themselves bunched up here. This might be McBride schmear time again.
3 tight ends on the field, and it's Hattori Hanzo bringing Carolina into enemy territory. Can I get some 4s in chat, please? Carolina trying to close it down, trying to punch their ticket to the playoffs. Denver trying to say no thanks. You're watching the SFL presented by APM Music on SFL YouTube. Denver, Colorado, Week 13 SFL action. Josh Zirkle, Brett Solberg in the booth. Top Kiefer and Ron Haynes doing stats. Thank you, gentlemen. Ike McBride running wild, and you see the total yardage for both teams. And those numbers have gone up a bit since the first quarter, where we were looking at single digits for both teams combined, Brett.
Yeah, and it's still, substandard numbers for the SFL here today, but it's been a slow climb for both of these teams. And you can see it on the scoreboard too, just a slow climb.
And it has been a defensive slugfest as well. 4 sacks combined, 7 TFLs and some for both teams. And there's Hanzo again getting involved. And you mentioned the 2-to-1 ratio that McBride and Hanzo have seemed to be working toward. And you got to think some of that might have to do with McBride getting 31 carries against Baltimore last week.
Yeah, and I think this might be a little bit more of a rest week for McBride. But at this point, I don't know why you're not giving McBride the football, at least going into the stage of this fourth quarter, and just have her carry the load.
Only 11 carries. That's carry number 12, and she is dropped for a loss. And that is Forge again. Stephon Forge has been everywhere tonight.
Yeah, and he's been the main catalyst of this Denver defense, and we've said his name so often. Would you believe he only has 5 tackles to his name? It just doesn't feel right.
Well, they've all been very high leverage tackles. Tackle for loss. Pass deflection. South trying to find McBride. She makes the adjustment. The ball's thrown behind her. And she gets back past the original stick to make it 3rd and 7. Huge third down coming up for Carolina.
Yeah, that's going to be a tough 3rd and 7 here for Carolina. As we're seeing ourselves at probably a 50-yard field goal from Malone Brown, and we've seen him miss one before from 50, so they want to inch forward.
South under pressure, down it goes. Hugo Reynosa, ay caramba, getting into that Carolina backfield and taking the Skyhawks out of field goal range.
Yeah, forget Malone Brown coming down the field. Bring in Sasaj Grande and have him punt deep. Carolina, no points for you, as Denver says from my best soup guy impression here at SFL After Dark. And now Denver has an opportunity, depending where that field of position is for them coming in, has a chance to, really steal one coming in.
Grande boots it away, and this could be something special. And it will be down to inside the 5-yard line by Carolina. Denver with a long march ahead of them.
Yeah, and they have to think of this drive that they have to get to the end zone. This isn't time to, settle for 3. You've got 8.5 minutes, 96 yards to the end zone. Use as much time as you can. Dink and dip and dive to get those first downs. Make that Carolina defense tired.
This is the worst starting field position Denver has had in this game, and it's just about to get worse as Bailey O'Shaughnessy is hit for a loss. Call it 2nd and 11. And there's a big play from the other 99 in this game, Shravan Prasad.
And that was almost a situation where Denver was going to be at the goal line for 2nd down. Did you see the closing speed on Phil Hall to almost get to O'Shaughnessy? That is scary.
Mills, nowhere to go. 3 defenders there. Mojo McClain, the rookie among them. And they're going to spot him back at the original line of scrimmage, and that seems a little generous to me, Brett.
Yeah, that should have been pushed back a yard, I think, personally. But now it's forcing Denver into a hand where I think Struthers needs to throw in his own end zone for 3rd down.
This is a huge statement by this Carolina defense. They opt not to throw. Mills gets the call. That's equally baffling. And despite getting positive yardage, Prasad is there again. And that is one of the more curious 3-and-outs you will see in the SFL.
Yeah, and that is the conservative mentality that we've seen from Denver throughout this season that, I'm sorry to say, that's pushed them to this 3-7 record. Situations like this, you have to pass. Can't settle for a run on 3rd and 11.
Punt is away. And Prasad is going to get this ball into field goal range, taking over at Denver's 32. So we go from Denver's worst starting field position of the game to Carolina's best, already in field goal range with just over 7 to play in regulation.
Yeah, that just has everyone breathing easy on the Carolina offense. But you can't really, get your mentality out of, still pushing forward here. Denver just sacked you on their last 3rd down to push you out of field goal range.
Trips to South's right. He throws to his left. That's DeSantis. And DeSantis with a nice gain on first down will make it 2nd and 5. DeSantis, not one of the busier nights necessarily, but coming up with catch number 4 on the game, and that does lead the team. Second short of Ike McBride, who has 6.
Yeah, and Carolina really has that mentality of getting more than what they have on the scoreboard. They have never won a football game winning with 14 points on the board on their side.
South to his right finds McDaniel, and again avoids the leaping arm of a Denver defender, and that is good for a fresh set of downs.
Yeah, and they'll breathe easy there because that was, yeah, like you said, almost swiped away by the leaping defender. You can see Kindler again. He's been all over the place, just a half step behind in a lot of situations. But now Carolina sees themselves, in goal line territory, or red zone territory, I should say, and they're really bunching it up here on this 1st and 10.
McBride and Hanzo in the backfield. Short drop by South under pressure, and that is batted away and nearly picked off. Looking for Hanzo, occupying the hook zone. And that's an interesting decision to throw it there, because now with the clock stopped, you're saving more time for Denver, as opposed to if you had just run the ball, you'd be able to take more time off the clock on your way to a field goal and extending your lead.
Yeah, and you look at that pass, that was right in the hands of Devin King as well. He just didn't manage to, collect that catch for the interception.
This game has been turnover-free up to this point. South going to his right side. That is deflected and falls to the ground. That is Roscoe Santagria coming up with a big pass deflection, and it's 3rd and 10.
You know, and I heard you knock on wood too, and I was thinking to myself, wouldn't that be great if Josh said no turnovers at this point, and the first throw out of South's hands goes to an interception? That was a close call for Carolina.
That it was. It's a good thing I have ample amounts of wood here in my broadcast location. South on 3rd and 10, under pressure, and down he goes. Big sack by the Denver defense. John Nevels, first time we've called his name tonight, coming up with the sack.
And you look at that sack too, that's an 8-yard loss out of that, which turns, a somewhat easier field goal into a little bit more of an uncertain one coming from Malone Brown here. So can Carolina extend this lead back to 8 with a Malone Brown field goal? We'll have to see.
Robert Brady, the rookie, in there on the sack as well. That gives him 3.5 sacks. Actually, maybe 3 on the season if he gets a half sack there. Malone Brown from 44 yards. And it is good, and Carolina re-extends their lead to 8 points. It's 17-9.
Yeah, and Carolina will take this because now it's going to be a touchdown and next 2-point conversion for Denver to tie up this game here, so they can breathe a little bit easy. And with how this Carolina defense has gone so far in this game, it's going to be tough for Denver to get down the field.
That it is. 5 minutes, 33 seconds remaining here in regulation. Denver needs the touchdown and the 2-point conversion to tie this game. They have not found the end zone so far tonight. William McDowell gets out to the 23-yard line, and Cameron Irvine does not often drop a bomb on us, but he did in our game chat just a moment ago. No plays in this game over 20 yards.
Yeah, it's
absolute insanity.
It's something you don't see in the SFL, because you can think off the top of your head, Doug Britton probably has 19 80-yard plays just this season alone. And then you've got, every other game, they've got to have at least 20-yard plays just this week. Seeing one not happen here is astounding.
O'Shaughnessy up the middle, nowhere to go. We've seen a lot of that where runs have just not materialized at all. DJ Majesty, with 2 tackles in this game, reached 1,000 career tackles earlier this season. In his first season in Carolina, 12th in the SFL. And his unit has been a big presence here in this game. Mills bouncing off a defender, and then Trevon Prasad bounces off of him. No gain And it's a 3rd down for Denver.
Yeah, and when you're about 80 yards from the end zone, you'd think Denver wouldn't start with run. You'd think maybe one of them would be pass. But here we are, 3rd down. They're forcing their own hand in passing on this 3rd and 10.
Empty set. Struthers over the middle. That is caught! A huge completion to Jeremy Mosley in the middle of the field. And we're not seeing any sense of urgency for Denver to line this up.
And yeah, you'd have to think there's got to be a little bit of urgency coming in here. That's Jeremy Mosley's first catch of the game, by the way. That'll give him 15 yards to his name. As you know, the passing game for both these teams hasn't been stellar, but they have done what they can against 2 outstanding defenses. You got to give credit to Harish Prasad and Stefan Forge, who run both their defenses. They're just been fantastic all game.
And now Denver coming out in the run set. And O'Shaughnessy up the middle there for a couple. And Brett, I've got to wonder if Denver is just resigned to the fact that this will be their last offensive drive of the game, come heck or high water.
And I don't think that should be the mentality here, because even if you score and get the 2-point conversion after this, you're also thinking in the back of your head, are we giving Carolina too much time to get a field goal back? And you can't trust on your defense all game. Sometimes they make a little bit of a gaffe.
Short drop for Struthers, finds Ari Mills over the middle, and Mills plows into plus territory with under 3.5 to play.
Gotta go hurry up at this point just to, settle and at least get themselves to the end zone. But they're really settling here. I don't know the approach here, and I know there's like hurrying up on these huddles here, but they gotta go no huddle moving forward.
49 yards to the promised land. They need a touchdown and the 2-point conversion to tie. They have not found the end zone so far tonight. And O'Shaughnessy dropped for a loss. And now they'll go hurry up with less than 3 minutes to play.
I don't know. This is the formation you want to go hurry up in. You've only got 1 wide receiver and 2 tight ends.
And so Mills gets the call again. And Denver, who had to use a timeout early on that hard count play, is going to decide to pocket their 2 timeouts and hurry up again on 3rd and 10. And that pass is out of bounds. Quintero could not bring it in and keep the feet in. And that is just a brutal sequence of events for the Nightwings.
And you got to think this has got to be 4-down territory at this point, but that's not the formation to go in a hurry up in. You just, it's just disheartening to see something like that. And they're punting here.
They're going to punt.
With 2:36 left to go, there should be no choice in your mind. You have to go for it.
Vasquez will punt it away. And Prasad will take this out from the 10 and get out to the 19-yard line. Carolina with an 8-point lead, the ball and just under 2.5 to play. Looks set to notch their 6th win of the season, Brett.
What do you think? Healthy doses of Hanzo and McBride on this drive here to run out the clock?
I think you could do a lot worse, certainly. McBride, 12 carries, 57 yards on the game. Well, that's on the ground. And Hanzo's been quite serviceable as well. Mike McBride gets the call, and that is quite a burst into a defense that is trying to hang on to win a 1-score game. They're trying to come back in a 1-score game, I should say, as we approach the 2-minute warning.
Yeah, and they're going to let this clock just eat out and let Denver suffer here. Proverbially, as they're just not even settling before the 2-minute warning hits.
Skyhawks have their hearts set on the playoffs. They're 2 minutes away getting their 6th win of the season. You're watching the SFL presented by APM Music on SFL YouTube. Denver, Colorado, Week 13 SFL action. Josh Circle, Brett Solberg in the booth. Top Kiefer, Ron Haynes doing stats. Thank you, gentlemen. Cameron Irvine producing. And Carolina producing. A first down here in the waning moments of this game. And now Denver is forced to use their timeouts.
Yeah, and you can see it there. Just the easy first down there for Ike McBride. It forces Denver to use one of their 2 timeouts. And basically, when you think about it, if Carolina gets another first down, it's game over. And we're going to see this a 17-9 score.
Matt South, 21 for 29. on the game. 2 touchdown passes to Heath McDaniel Jr. and to Ike McBride. And McBride will scamper toward midfield, and Denver will use their last timeout.
Yeah, and we've seen it in the chat a few times here, and I think it's good to just kind of point it out. Denver may not be going to the postseason, and you could see just like in this fourth quarter alone, it just seemed like they've just played scared this entire time, just going way too conservative, and that's what's led to this situation.
And their defense has played really well. I mean, that front four is as feisty as you could ever hope for. They answered the bell. They had 3 sacks on Matt South, 6 tackles for loss in all, no turnovers, but 3 passes deflected. They did a nice job, especially in the first quarter. I have 3 3-and-outs to their credit, according to my notes. But they needed to get a little more than they got out of the offense, and the baffling decision to punt from Quintero with 2.5 to play, I think took away any chance they had of coming back in this game. Hanzo up the middle, and that will be good for the first down, and that should do it.
Yeah, timeouts are gone. They're just going to run this out. Don't be surprised if we see victory formation here, and Carolina keeps their playoff hopes alive here, pushes themselves over 500, and joins the huge mix of 6 and 5 teams in the playoff picture.
Bit of a logjam there at 6 and 5. They will host Charleston next week in the finale in that fun rivalry game. And if they win that game and get some help, their ticket to the playoffs will be punched. Denver, meanwhile, will be on the outside looking in for the 4th straight season. And I got to think that they've got some pieces here. If they could bring everybody back for season 21, they're going to be in good shape, Brett.
Yeah, and I look at Gene Struthers, and I just see how he's progressed through this season from, shaken rookie quarterback through his first couple games, and he's kind of matured a little bit here and has become, this a decent middle-of-the-road quarterback in the SFL, and he's got loads of time to grow. We got ourselves a final here. Skyhawks 17, Nightwings 9. Carolina pushes to 6 and 5, and there you see the post-game stats there. Not an overly impressive offensive game, but overly defensive. This is, an Eddie Gage dream to see, how defensively sound both these teams were, and Carolina just had the upper hand, just, slowly getting forward to get to that score in the fourth quarter.
Less than 430 yards of total offense for both teams, but no turnovers. And as Cameron Irvine pointed out, no offensive plays over 20 yards. The defenses did a nice job of negating the big plays, of taking away those big plays. And really, for me, Brett, I think the difference maker in this game was Ike McBride. Trucking defenders, keeping drives alive. And she had some help from Hattori Hanzo and Matt South as well. But to me, McBride was the difference maker here.
Yeah, it's not going to see, in the stats, more or less, like you said. It's going to be, the trucking hits that are going to push forward. And then she's probably going to be player of the game.
Matt South will take player of the game honors. Bit of a surprise there, but certainly well-deserved. 2 touchdown passes, and as we said, no interceptions. Congratulations to the Carolina Skyhawks. For Ron Haynes, Tom Kiefer, Brett Solberg, and Cameron Irvine, I'm Josh Circle. Till next time, we will see you on the internet. Congratulations to the Carolina Skyhawks.
They do.